In this video, I'd like to talk about bread. That's something that's kind of taboo in the low-carb world, but it's something that everybody eventually misses. You see it all the time on online forums and blog discussions. What can you do for bread substitutions? And people get pretty creative when they're trying to reproduce the carby things that they've taken out of their diets, things they've been told that they need to avoid at all costs. Pizza, pasta, any kind of bread. And it seems to be the first thing that people go rushing to try to find a substitute for. And there's a lot of rather innovative baking recipes for low-carb breads. Things that don't use any kind of wheat flour. You see typically almond, coconut flour substitutes, even chia seeds and flaxseed. And though they look kind of like bread, they really don't taste like wheat bread. You know, this stuff right here, white bread, it's something I've kind of lost my taste for. I don't really tolerate bread or any kind of wheat product like pastas that much anymore. But it's something I still kind of have a craving for. It's just kind of a habit. You know, a sandwich, you really start missing sandwiches, buns for hamburger, that sort of thing, or even a biscuit with breakfast. So I was trying to find my own version, a reworked version of bread that was lower carb and reducing the wheat content. And that's really what makes bread is the gluten in wheat. My version uses a flour-based product. This stuff right here, Bisquick. I know people are probably running away screaming that a recipe would use this stuff here. But next to Spam, this is one of the greatest culinary innovations that's come out of America. Tons of different things you can do with Bisquick: pancakes, waffles, breading for chicken, and of course biscuits. But it's loaded with refined flour, which means it has lots of carbs. So if you're doing low carb, you pretty much don't want to do this. But what I was able to do is use a very small amount of this in order to leverage the leavening, the baking powder, as well as the shortening in here. And what I do is get kind of equal portions of almond flour. Yeah, it's one of the substitutes that are used in a lot of low-carb bread recipes, and Bisquick. And then filled out some cheese, 2 eggs, a little bit of milk. And it makes for a very air-filled kind of biscuit. So it's a lot lighter. I make it really thin, and the net carbs for these biscuits are 6 grams. I mean, you could go lower. You know, there's 3-gram products out there. You can go to 0. But after a while, you're kind of just chasing your tail with low-carb substitutes. So let me get things set up here, and I'll show you how this all goes together. Okay, we got 2 eggs already cracked open in our bowl here. And to that, we're going to add 1/3 cup of Bisquick and 1/3 cup of almond flour. And the kind of secret ingredient here is 1 cup of shredded extra sharp cheddar cheese. Gives it a real nice cheesy kind of flavor. And finally, 3 tablespoons of whole milk. And you see there's a lot of liquid ingredients in here. So this is going to be It's not a dough, it's going to be more like a pancake batter, a pretty thick pancake batter. And there's not too many ingredients, it's really simple. I'm just going to whisk that all together, get a batter going here. That's pretty much it. I'm going to move over to the stove and show you how we actually bake this. Okay, what I've got here is 6 English muffin rings, and they've been greased with coconut oil. You can use butter, but whatever you do, don't spray it with Pam. We're just going to try to keep some semblance of a healthy recipe here. We've already got the biscuit going. And what I'm going to do is put about 1/4 cup of the batter in here. It's going to be really thin, but once these rolls or biscuits bake, they'll rise up. They're going to probably come up halfway up the ring. And get the first one going. Now, a little bit of the batter may seep out underneath the ring, but don't worry. It's not, it's a thicker batch, so I don't think it'll be a problem. But as it bakes, some of it might come out. You just trim that off once it's cooked. You could also do this without the rings, just kind of freeform it. You get a much wider roll. It's almost like a really thin Kaiser roll if you do it that way. That, works better for like a hamburger bun. Kind of distribute this over the smaller ones here. Got shortchanged. Hope I wasn't blocking your view with the bowl. And get every last drop here. Okay, that's about 6 even ones, and these are going to come out really thin, but it's all part of reducing the glycemic load, so to speak. And actually what I'll do sometimes is just have a half with my eggs for breakfast, and half of the 6 net carbs comes out to 3. So I mean, if you're worried about carbs, this really shouldn't be an issue, and just try to forget that it's got biscuit in it. Again, apologies to anyone who's has celiac disease or is otherwise gluten intolerant. This won't work for you. But, even if you're not doing low carb, you want something that's going to be lower calorie, easier, your whole digestive system. Provided you're not allergic to eggs or milk or any of the other ingredients. This might work better for you. Okay, I'm going to pop this in the oven. It's at 400 degrees and it's going to be in there for 12 minutes. Okay, these beauties just came out of the oven, and I'm going to go take a butter knife and score around the ring to release them. As you can see, some of it leaked out a little bit around the sides, but it's no big deal. It wasn't that much. So, and the coconut oil will keep it from sticking. And voila. Now what I do is put them in a rusty old Christmas cookie tin lined with wax paper. Gives a little bit of the old-timey homemade quality to it. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of these out of here and in the tin, let them cool a little bit more, and I'll slice one open and let you see what it looks like. Okay, as you can see, got all the biscuits out. It has a real nice kind of toasted cheese aroma to it. It makes these really nice. And what I have entitled the video as well as the blog post with the recipe on this is low carb bread that doesn't suck. Because quite frankly, a lot of it just doesn't taste like bread at all. And even the commercial stuff you can buy, I haven't tried any of it, but you know, I'm just reluctant to spend the kind of money they're asking. It's, you know, some of the prices on like bagels and low carb bread is, even the low carb tortillas is pretty outrageous. So you know, you take that risk and it winds up tasting terrible. You know, it's not a good deal. So I'm going to attempt to slice one of these open. And I use a serrated knife. This is actually a bread knife. You get kind of a sawing action, which works a little bit better, especially, you know, with these guys here that are so soft. And these came out thicker than they usually do. I don't know. Must be the humidity in the air or something. I'm still experimenting with the ratios. You know, I might try to go a little bit less with the Bisquick and kind of up the almond flour, maybe an extra egg, and just reach the point where things kind of break. I can probably get the Bisquick down a little bit. Okay, just a careful sawing action here. And there you have it. You can pretty much do anything that you can, you know, use a biscuit or a roll for. I like to make sandwiches. Turkey sandwich with lettuce and tomato, a little mayo. You toast these up. As far as toasting, they since they're so thin, they tend to curl up a bit on the edges. So it's probably a good idea to toast them a little bit lighter than you would an ordinary piece of bread. But you know, you can also put a hamburger on there. And what I do is, you know, you can see it's got these little nooks and crannies, kind of like an actual English muffin. So toasted with breakfast, you can put a little cream cheese or butter on it. You really you don't miss the regular kind of bread that much when you do it this way. Yeah, like I said, just try to get over the fact that it's got some Bisquick in it. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video.